Most people think a whole house water filter is just one small filter housing. But for most homes, that's not what a whole house water treatment system looks like. In this video, I'm going to show you what a whole house water filter really is, which one you might need, and why you would need it. In reality, a whole house water filter is usually a filter that treats all the water entering the home. That can include several different types of equipment, like what you see here. Instead of filtering just one faucet or one fixture, a whole house water filter filters every fixture in your home, including sinks, faucets, showers, toilets, and water-using appliances. The confusion is a whole house water filter is not one specific product. It's actually a category. Now here's the confusion. This filter here, people think this is the solution to all their problems as far as whole house water filtration. And basically what this is our 20-inch Big Blue. It's meant for sediment filtration only. It goes before all of these other systems that you see here. And again, this is for sediment only. It does not solve iron, pH, hardness, manganese, or sulfur. Let's talk about the equipment and what it does. First, we have the 20-inch Big Blue with a 5-micron filter cartridge inside. It will remove extremely small sediment particles, and it goes first before anything else in line. Next, we have our 2510 AIO iron filter in a 2.5 cubic foot size. It removes iron, sulfur, and manganese. It also removes traces of arsenic, and it can filter sediment down to 3 microns. Next, this is our 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing upflow acid neutralizer. It's actually our best-selling neutralizer. It's designed to treat levels of pH down to 5.5, and you only have to add calcite on average based on our customer feedback every 24 to 36 months. After that, we would install this. This is our 64,000 grain Fleck 5600 SXT digital on-demand softener. And what that means, based on water usage, it's only going to regenerate when necessary. Next, we have our 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing carbon filter. Carbon is a great media. It removes chlorine, chlorine byproducts, sulfur odor, herbicides, pesticides. The list of contaminant goes on and on. It's a very good unit. And then we have, for those of you who are concerned about bacteria in the water, this is our Viqua VH410 UV light, high flow rates up to 19 gallons per minute. It will kill any microorganism that's in your water supply before it goes anywhere else in your home. So when people are searching for a whole house water system, they're actually looking for one specific system or a combination of different systems that you just saw here. If you're on a well, these are the systems you need to consider. Let's talk about low pH. First, what we usually and typically install in our own area here in Maryland is we put the 20-inch Big Blue for sediment first, and then we put our 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing acid neutralizer. Doesn't need electricity, doesn't have a drain, doesn't have to discharge. Very simple to install. We follow that with our 64,000 grain Fleck 5600 digital softener, which removes hard water and slight traces of iron. And last and not least, you want to put a UV light in, because you never know when you're going to have microorganisms, coliform bacteria or fecal bacteria, which they test for the most, especially when you're buying or selling a house. So it's a good idea that every house on well water has an ultraviolet light system after everything else. And typically it would go last in line, mounted on the wall after the water softener. Let's talk about city water. If you're on a chlorinated water supply or municipally treated water, this is what we typically recommend and what we would install if we were coming to your house to do it. First and foremost, we have the 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing carbon filter with Centaur carbon. It'll take care of the chlorine byproducts, taste, odor, and other things that might be in the water as well. And we follow that up, because all city water is hard, so you're going to follow that up with the 2.5 cubic foot, 64,000 grain Fleck 5600 demand water softening system. That'll take care of hardness in the water, make it nice and soft, make washing clothes, taking a shower, doing laundry, everything more efficient. A common misconception is one filter does everything, takes care of all your water problems, when in reality, it's a sequence of systems put into your home that takes care of multiple problems. Let's talk about if you have iron in your water, and this is what we typically recommend for people whose homes have iron water problems, and maybe sulfur in the well. First, we're going to install the 4x20 Big Blue sediment filter, and then after that, we're going to put our 2510 AIO iron filter that handles up to 30 parts per million of iron, 15 parts per million of manganese, and 10 parts per million of sulfur. Follow that with our Fleck 5600 64,000 grain water softener. That's going to take all the hardness out of the water, make your water nice and soft throughout the entire home. Now let's talk about acid water, which is one of the most common problems we treat here on the East Coast and all the way to Northern California. So first, if you have acidic water, once you get your well test done, we're going to figure out what type of system you need, and this is what we recommend most often. First, we have our Big Blue, 20-inch Big Blue sediment filter, which is going to take all the dirt out of your water before it gets to the system. Next, we're going to have our 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing acid neutralizer, which handles pH levels down to 5.5 and is going to bring it up to neutral, which is 7. And we're going to follow that with our Fleck 5600 SXT digital demand softener. That monitors how much water you use based on the information you program into the computer. It will only regenerate when absolutely necessary, being efficient as far as salt usage and water discharge. So in conclusion, you might be wondering, do I need all those pieces of equipment in my house? And the answer is no. What we usually try to do is solve the immediate problem. Like if you have a 5.5 pH in your water, you're just going to need an acid neutralizer to solve that immediate problem. So basically, we would recommend the 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing acid neutralizer. Now, it does make the water harder. Now, if your budget doesn't allow for you to add a softener at the same time, you can always add a water softener later down the road. It's not a big deal. You just leave space for it in line where the plumbing is, so it makes the installation easier. Let's pretend for a moment that I'm the customer. Just bought a house on well water, have never lived on well water before, was on city water my whole life, and I have no clue. And I start to notice brown stains in the toilet, there's a rotten egg odor every time I run the water, and I just found a pinhole leak in my copper plumbing in the basement next to my well tank. What do? First thing you need to do, get your water tested. Find out if you have low pH, sulfur in the water, iron in the water, how much, and then we can accurately tell you what type of filter system that you're going to need. So as far as what type of equipment you need, if you have iron, Fleck 2510 AIO 2.5 cubic foot iron filter. If you have low pH, the Clack 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing acid neutralizer. And if you have low levels of iron in the water or extremely hard water, 7 grains per gallon and above, Fleck 5600 SXT digital softener. If you're on chlorine and you have that chlorine odor or you have taste or odor in the water that you want to eliminate, our Clack 2.5 cubic foot non-backwashing carbon filter does an excellent job. And if you have any type of bacteria, the tests come back positive for coliform or fecal, you want to put the Viqua VH410 UV light in. Now, one of the biggest and most common mistakes I see that customers make before they buy a water system, and I've been doing this for 32 years now, and I've been doing it 7 days a week for, like I said, 32 years, and I've seen all the mistakes that people make. And the biggest one is not getting the water tested properly before they buy any type of water filtration system. And it's pretty simple. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get a whole house test kit to test all the different things, pH, hardness, iron, chlorine, that type of thing. And then you have an idea what you're going to need, and then you can call a water treatment professional because you already have some results to compare what he's going to find to make sure they're giving you an honest review of your water. And then another mistake is people rush off to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a little box water softener and thinking that's going to solve all their problems. No, that's only going to take care of hardness in the water when actually you have a major pH problem, especially up and down the eastern seaboard. And that's treated in a totally different manner. Let's talk about cost. The cost of a whole home water system can range from $80 for a sediment filter you get at Walmart up to $6,000 for a multi-stage system. So you have to take that into consideration when thinking about or purchasing a whole home water system. So basically, as far as water treatment goes and what you may or may not need, it could be anything from one stage sediment filter, and that's your only problem. It could be an acid neutralizer, and that's all you need. Or it could be a multi-tank system of 3, 4, or 5 units in order to treat the problem in your home. It all depends on what comes back in your water analysis. So if you want to contact me, you can call our 800 number at 800-460-5810, or you can get your water analysis done and text it to 443-277-2204. We're open Monday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and we'll take text up till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.